Once again, good morning and welcome back to the online classes. And I hope you are all safe, and I pray to God for your safety. Now, here, dear students, we people are in the 5th chapter of your Vistas, Should Wizard Hit Mommy by John Updike. Already in this chapter, I have told you about the two beautiful morals being imparted through this chapter. That is, we people must always remember that parents are our good friends, the best well-wishers. And the second thing, never to change your individuality or identity just to please others. You might be thinking that why ma'am recalls every time. The previous videos matter. My dear students, when we people recall, it will be there somewhere in the corner of your mind that yes, the story is all about this. And then remember that in English, the morals that imparted to you, they are the base of your life. See, you might become a very learned person, but actual human beings, only when you understand the values being imparted through these lessons. To become a successful person is not going to be a hard nut that you will become today or tomorrow. But to be good humans is a difficult task. And life is not like how you see it today. As you step out, more things will be there in the life. And at that time, these things which you learn today, the values, your parents, these are the things which help you to overcome the challenges of life. School is not a place only to gain knowledge, but it is a place to make your life and to make yourself prepared for the future battles, future challenges. It is to improve, to strengthen the bonds of your life with the people around you. And in this story, the most important bond is parents, and the most important aspect is you, who you are. That is very important thing. In the story we people have seen, if I recall the story in very short, till what we have done in the previous two videos, we have seen that there is a girl named Jo, a small child, not very small, but from the age of 2, she had been listening to, or she has been narrated stories by her father Jack, and all the stories which are narrated to her is created by her father with his own imagination and creative power by keeping a basic tale or a plot line where Roger, a creature, is there whose surname changes every time in the story and will always be in some problem, goes to the wise old owl and then to the wizard, and the wizard performs a magic spell, solves the problem, demands payment, always Roger having less, but then he comes up with a solution, and then Roger very happily goes and plays with other creatures and then goes back home, waits for father to come from Boston, have supper, and the story gets over. This particular part used to be very beautiful till she didn't grow up. As she started growing up, narrating the story became a tedious job for Jack because she rarely used to go to sleep. As a little girl, she used to do earlier. And then now she was all prepared for the story, lying on the bed with the sheet covered over her and her feet dancing under the bed, excited to listen to the story. And then her brother was sleeping next to her, with her father wishing that she also go to sleep like her brother. And then he asked her whose story she wants to listen to. It was not surprising because we all know that she will come up with one name only, that is Roger, but the most exciting part is what surname she is going to add to it, and that was Khan this time. Maybe she came across this name in the school, and then he started the story. Jack also got very excited because he got a new name, so he can create a new story. And he was very excited, and he started the story with Roger's Khan being a creature in the woodland And the twist in the story was the bad smell that used to come out from the skull. And then Joe's excitement began, and he said that no one used to play with him, and he used to stand and cry all alone in the jungle. And Joe, she felt very bad because actually Roger was the hero, and she never wanted the hero to cry. And then she waited eagerly for the owl to come in the existence, and he means Jack, because his wife was doing work down and he has to go and help her. He hurried the story and he said that Roger went to the big owl who was sitting down on the top of a big tree, and the owl accepted that he was smelling very bad, and Roger asked the owl what he can do, and Joe was very excited and wanted to jump to the story to reach to Wizard, to which Jack got angry and asked her to lie down very quietly on the bed. And then he continued the story, and he was interrupted in between by Joe again by asking her so-called questions. And Jack said that this was the new phase that has entered into this part of narration of the story, that she used to keep on asking questions related to something or the other. And then Jack gave an answer and continued with the story that Owl said to Roger to go through the dark woods, under the apple trees, into the swamp, over the creek. She again shoots one question over there, that was a creek. He gives an answer that it means a little river, and then when he crosses over, he will reach to the wizard's house. And then when he will reach to the wizard's house, he raps on the little white house door, and Jack gives a kind of an effect of that rapping by rapping on the windowsill, and then he says that the door is opened by the old wizard, and Jack gives a kind of an old man's voice by using all kind of effects of his own, and he felt very good that his daughter seems to be excited. Let's continue the story. I know it, Roger's skunk said, and all the animals ran away from me. The enormous wise owl said, you could help me. Yeah, well, maybe. Come on in. Don't get too close. Now inside, Joe, there were all these magic things, all jumbled together in a big dusty heap, because the wizard did not have any cleaning lady. Now the wizard, when he saw Roger, he said to Roger, what you want? Why you are here? You smell so awful. And Roger, he said that's why I'm here, that I smell very awful, and the little animals of the woodland, they all run away, and the wise owl asked me to come to you to help me. You can help me. To that the wizard, he said, oh, no, well, come on in, but please don't come too near. And then inside view, he explained to Joe that inside the house, one big heap of magical things were lying down, all jumbled in a dusty heap, means unorganized. And then he gave a reason to Joe that maybe because the wizard is not having a cleaning lady, means a servant. Then he said that no cleaning lady. Then she asked, why? Asabyu. To that he said, why? Because he was a wizard and a very old man. What answer to give to the question that why he's not having a cleaning lady? To that he said that maybe because wizard is very old and he's a wizard. That's why he don't need a cleaning lady. Then she asked up another question. Will he die? No, wizards don't die. Well, he rummaged around and found an old stick called a magic wand and asked Roger's skull what he wanted to smell like. Roger thought and thought and said, roses. Yes, good, Joe said smugly. Now when she asked him another question, first she asked that why there is no cleaning lady. To that he gave an answer, because he's an old man and he's a wizard. That's why he's not having any cleaning lady. Then he asked another question. Then she asked another question that whether he will die one day, the wizard. So he said that no, wizards don't die. And then he rummaged. Rummaged means, I told you, no, that a big heap, ढेर, A big heap of magical things were lying down at one corner when he unorganized way. So he went there and he searching, Rumash. He searched from the magical things and he took out one magic wand. You know what's a magic wand? You all might have seen Harry Potter. That wand which he used to keep in his hand and say the spell and show to the thing, and then the light used to come out from that. Yes, that is a magic wand. And then he took out that magic wand and he asked Roger, what you would like to smell like? Then Roger, he started thinking. He said, oh, I would like to smell like roses. And Joe, she said smugly, means going more inside and very happy. She said, oh, that's so good. He want to smell like that of roses. Then Jack fixed her with a trance-like gaze and chanted in the wizard's elderly, irritable voice. Now when Joe was very happy that Roger said roses, Jack, what he did, he fixed her with a trance-like gaze, means continuously he was looking at her like as if though he's going to say the spell over her. And he chanted the spell in the same way how wizard might have done. Abracadabra, hocus pocus, Roger's gun, how do you do? Roses, bosses, bull and ear. Roger's gun, you never fear. Bingo. And he paused as a rapt expression widened out from his daughter's nostrils, forcing her eyebrows up and her lower lip down in a wide, noiseless grin, an expression in which Jack was startled to recognize his wife feigning pleasure at cocktail parties. And all of a sudden, he whispered, the whole inside of the wizard's house was full of the smell of roses. Roses, Roger Fish cried. And the wizard said very cranky, that will be 7 pennies. Okay, now when he said roses and Joe was very happy, Jack looked at her with her gaze fixed on her, and like a magician, he chanted. He said the mantra, Abracadabra, hocus pocus, Roger's gun, how do you do? Roses, roses, pull and ear, Roger's gun, you'd never fear. Bingo. When he said this, when he chanted this magical spell, he waited for the expression that will come over the face of his daughter. And he found that, you see the way the child expressed herself. She expressed her nostrils widened up, and then her eyebrows were up, and her lower lip was down with a smile. Her teeth could be seen. She was grinning, but no noise coming out from her mouth. She was not laughing loud. And that expression surprised Jack, because that was the same kind of expression which his wife used to give when she used to have pleasure during the cocktail parties. And then the story. All of a sudden, he whispered, the whole inside of the wizard's house was full of the smell of roses. Roger Fish cried. He said, roses. And the wizard, he said, okay, problem solved, give me 7 pennies. Daddy, what? Roger Scan, you said Roger Fish. Yes, Scan, you said Roger Fish. Wasn't that silly? Very silly of your stupid old daddy. Where was I? Well, you know about the pennies. Say it. Now, if you also have noticed it, in the previous para, I read out roses, Roger Fish cried. And you know the small kids, how they are? They are very eager to find out faults. And then the moment he said that the wizard asked very cranky way that 7 pennies, she said, Daddy. And then after she said Daddy, he asked what? You said Roger Fish instead of Roger's gun. Okay, it's Scun. You said Roger Fish. It's so silly of you. He accepted. Yes, your daddy, old daddy, by mistake said Roger Fish. So silly of him. But where I was in the story, well, you know about the pennies. Means he wanted to cut short the story and he said to Joe that you know about the pennies now because the plot line is the same. So she said, huh, but still you say. Okay, Roger's Scun said, but all I have is 4 pennies. You remember in the beginning of the story I said always he will have less pennies. So 7 pennies means 3 pennies less and he began to cry. Joe made the crying face again, but this time without a trace of sincerity. This annoyed Jack. Downstairs, some more furniture rumbled. Claire shouldn't move heavy things. She was 6 months pregnant. It would be their third. Okay. Now when he said 7 pennies and Roger's Scun, he cried and he said that I have only 4 pennies. Then Joe, she made a crying face, like as if though Roger is crying. And this time, not like the previous time how the tears rolled from her eyes. This time, she was dramatizing. No sincerity in her, that expression. And this made Jack angry. And downstairs, some more furnitures rumbled. Means some more furnitures were pulled. And he was little worried because Claire, his wife, was not supposed to pull heavy objects as she was 6 months pregnant. And this would be their third child. So the wizard said, oh, very well. Go to the end of the lane and turn around 3 times and look down the magic well, and there you will find 3 pennies. Hurry up. So Roger's Scun went to the end of the lane and turned around 3 times, and there in the magic well were 3 pennies. So he took them back to the wizard and was very happy and ran out into the woods, and all the other little animals gathered around him because he smelled so good, and they played tag, baseball, football, basketball, lacrosse, hockey, soccer, and pick up sticks. Now, here when they came there, means reached to the point where Roger was stuck with only 4 pennies in his hand. At that time, he said that wizard, as usual, was the tail line of the tail line. He said that wizard said, okay, no problem, 3 pennies less. Do one thing, go to the end of the lane, means walk through this path, reach to the end, and there you take 3 turns, means 3 times you turn around, and then look down into the magic well, and you will get the 3 pennies there. Hurry up. Roger followed the instruction. He went to the end of the lane, turned around 3 times. Magic well gave 3 pennies. He took them and came back to the wizard and very happily ran back into the woods. And all the little animals, they gathered around him because he was smelling so good, that of roses. And they all played. And various kind of games like tag. It's pakada-pakadi, means you will go and touch a person and that person will touch the other one. Yeah, the same thing. Then baseball, all of you know what it is. Football, basketball, then lacrosse. And in this lacrosse, it is basically many people, they play the game. Few number of players will be there, and in this they will be using kind of a ball which will be thrown to the people, and then with the means 2 teams will be there and they will be using a net to catch that ball. Then hockey, all of you know, soccer also, and soccer means kind of football only, and pick up sticks. Now she again came up with another question. What's pick up sticks? It's a game you play with sticks, like the wizard's magic wand. Okay, when she asked the question that what are pick up sticks, he said that it's a game that you play with the sticks. Then she asked another thing. Sticks means like how the wizard used in his magic wand, like that kind of sticks. He said, then the answer given by Jack is kind of, and they played games and laughed all afternoon, and then it began to get dark and they all ran home to their mummies. Okay, when she said that like wizard's wand, like that sort of stick, Then he said that, yeah, that kind of. And they all played the games like soccer, football, basketball, baseball, pick up sticks. And then it began to turn dark. They all ran back to their mommies. Now, Jo was starting to fuss with her hands and look out of the window at the crack of day that showed under the shade. She thought the story was all over. Jack didn't like women when they took anything for granted. He liked them apprehensive, hanging on his words. Now, Jo, are you listening? Okay. Jo knew very well what will be the next step. And somehow she knew that the story is going to get over. So she started fussing with her hands, looking out of the window. Fussing with the hands means like playing with the fingers and all. And this made Jack very angry. Jack seems to be a kind of a man who don't like women take him for granted. He wants them to look at him and he wants the ladies to look worried and to be inquisitive, to hang on to his words, to know what he's going to say further. So he's asked Jo, Jo, are you listening or not? Then Jo, yes, because this is very interesting. Roger Skunk's mommy said, what's that awful smell? What? Now, to bring the interest of Jo back into the story, see, when he asked, you're going to listen or not, you're listening or not, she said, yes, I'm listening. Then he said that, see, now the interesting part of the story is going to come up. When Roger Skunk reached home, his mom said, you know what she said? What is this awful smell? What's this dirty smell? What smell was coming from Roger? Yes, roses. And what mummy said? What is this awful smell? Have you ever thought of roses smell to be awful? So the question was, what? And Roger Skunk said, it's me, mommy. I smell like roses. And she said, who made you smell like that? And he said, the wizard. And she said, well, of all the nerve, you come with me and we are going right back to that very awful wizard. Now when she asked, Roger said that, Mama, it's me. I am smelling like roses. And she asked, who made you smell like that, my dear child? And then he said, the wizard did so. And then the mother got angry and she said, of all the nerve, do one thing, come with me. We are going right back to that awful wizard. We will be going back to that wizard right now. Here awful means bad. So here bad, she means that that character-wise, not character-wise, like wicked, she means to say. That bad wizard, why he turned you into the smell of roses. And then here got the twist in the story. So Jo's reaction, you see. Jo sat up, her hands dabbling in the air with genuine fright. But Daddy, then he said about the other little animals ran away. Her hands skittered off into the underbrush. She never expected this twist in the story. She might have thought, as usual, they will have their dinner, wait for father, have dinner, and the story will get over. But Jack had stood something else. He said, Mother said that, come on, it's getting into my nerve, let's go back to that wicked wizard. Jo, she sat up on the bed. Her hands dabbling in the air, means like how you move the hands in the air now when you want to stop something which is beyond your reach. And then she said to our father, Daddy, whether Roger didn't tell his mother that how the small animals were not playing with him, they used to run away. And she said this. Then Jack, all right, he said, but Mommy, all the other little animals ran away. And she said, I don't care. You smell the way a little skunk should have, and I'm going to take you right back to that wizard. And she took an umbrella and went back with Roger's skunk and hit that wizard right over the head. Because Jo said that why Roger is not talking about the other animals running away, not playing with him, Jack said, okay. And he said, Roger said to his mommy, Mommy, all the other animals run away whenever I go to play with them. So she said that, I don't care. You smell like how a skun must smell. And I'm going to take you back to the wizard. She took an umbrella and along with Roger went back to the wizard and hit him right over the head, and then Joe's reaction. Wait for the next video. Till then, goodbye and